just will not go away. It's claimed the first life in America, Thomas Eric Duncan. He died in Dallas yesterday. Now 5 airports say they're going to start screening incoming passengers for signs of infection. Now, the CDC insists they have this under control. I hope they do. They say they do. I'm putting my trust in them, but what do you think?
You know, I mean, listen, I think that it's not as scary for the United States as they're making it out to be, and that it could be a little bit of a distraction from all the other things that are going on. Is it a serious thing in Africa? Yes, it is. Is it life-threatening? Yes, 50% of the people die. Do we have a cure for it? No, we don't.
But I think that they should take as much precaution as they can because of the fact that there is fear out there. And I think that to squash the fear is to put these in place, these safe precautions in place. And so I'm not opposed to it.
Well, I'm sad they euthanized the dog that we talked about yesterday in Spain, and I'm scared about all the things we start to do in a panic and in hysteria. And in the fictional depictions of the Ebola outbreak, you know, sadly, life is imitating some of those stories. I've been thinking about what Dr. Besser said all week about why we don't have these drugs. And that, to me, seems like what has to change. Just because it's a population that maybe can't pay for the drugs, or just because it's a disease that we didn't think would happen here, we didn't have the drug. That seems like an inexcusable explanation.
Shocking. It's shocking that especially if you know. Go ahead.
Yeah, right? I mean, we don't have drugs because we didn't need them here. We don't have drugs because we didn't think it would come here. But it's here.
But if you know it's that hard to make,
stock
you gotta stock it up.
Yeah, like the Costco for drugs. I mean, get some extra, put it on the shelf.
And I tell you, it's crazy. You know, they're saying, oh, you make it from tobacco, and my first thought was, see, maybe I stopped smoking too soon. But I don't know. You know? I mean,
Well, you know, it's hard. 4,000 people have died from Ebola, right? And 1.6 million died of AIDS in 2012, right? And there's a financial element to pharmaceutical companies. So there's no reason for them to stock up on a drug that's only killed 4,000 people.
Except that it's a drug that's killed 4,000 people, and you can't tell me it's not you. And you don't know if it can get here, and it got here, and y'all didn't know it. So one would think, upon thinking about it, is, hey, it's possible that this could happen. Let's start manufacturing something.
And the biggest issue of contention here is, why did not Duncan, who passed away, God rest his soul, my sympathies to the family, why didn't he get it? And the family's very, very upset.
They
thanked everyone except the hospital staff.
Well, I think, Dr. Besser said they only had 7. They only had 7. So the rest of the 4.9 billion people on the earth, if it got to your neighborhood, you're in deep doo-doo. You have to smoking cigarettes on the whole night. It's a whole thing.